What's up guys, welcome to Simple Chinese. My name is Mike Lin. I created this series of videos so you can learn Chinese on YouTube for free. Okay, so today this lesson will be lesson 1 part 2, and we're going to talk about basically in the book the dialogue will be asked about the nationalities, but today's lesson what I'm going to teach will be there's 4 grammar rules I want to talk about. And today's vocab will be in here. Okay, I'm gonna put all of these down in the description box so you can research them on your own. You can simply copy and paste to Google, and you can find out their meanings, how you say them, how you pronounce them, things like that. Okay, but for these early lessons, I'm gonna just go through with you very quickly. First one is 是. Okay, 是 that means is, M or R in Chinese. Okay, so basically we're gonna talk about it today too. And then 老师 that means teacher. Okay, 妈 it's also a question particle. Okay, and then next one will be 不 that means no or don't. 不 it's a negative word basically. It means negative phrase. Okay, and then 学生 should be a flat one right here. That's how I pronounce that. 学生 tone that means student. Okay, yeah, that means also or to, T-O-O, right? To. Okay, and then 人 that means person. And then the proper nouns, there's 中国 that means China. Okay, and then 北京 that means Beijing, Beijing, yeah. And then 美国 that means America. And then 纽约 that means New York. Okay. So those are the vocab. Make sure spend some time on your own just to learn them, so you can write them, memorize them, able to pronounce them, able to write, remember them, know that. Okay. So today the topic we're going to talk about is these four different grammars. Okay. So the first one will be the verb 是. So how do you use 是 in Chinese? Okay. So 是 is just like is, M is R, in English. So if you want to say like I am Mike, or like I am, I don't know, whatever name you want to call yourself, right? Say I am James, right? So 是 will be M is or R, right? Simply put 是 here, right? And then I will be 我. If you forget about that, make sure spend some time to learn all those vocabs on your own, okay? Those things just require a lot of time to memorize, that's all, right? 我是 that means I am, and then simply put Mike, right? And then period here. That means I am Mike, right? So that's very simple. Or we can say 你是, right? Let's say you are a teacher. Let's use today's vocab here, teacher here, right? So there will be 你是 will be 你, right? You, right? 是 that means you are. Then 老师 that means teacher. And there we go. 你是老师 that means you're teacher, right? So it's pretty simple. 是 is basically like like you say a verb. It basically means it is and are, and it'd be like 你是我是 blah 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 是 they are they are, or he is she is, you are I am, that's what 是 is. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Let's get to the next one here. Ending with ma. Okay, so last lesson we talked about 呢. Okay, if you don't know what 呢 is, make sure you go back and spend some time to understand what it is. But ma here is basically a question, a particle. Okay, so whenever you use ma, you simply put ma after a declarative sentence, statement. It's kind of hard to say, right? Basically a statement that's already be declared. Okay, simply put a ma after the sentence, then you will make a question. So what does that mean? Okay, that means same thing. Let's use the same example here. First one, let's say 你是老师, right? Would be 你是老师, right? 是 means you are, right? So you are a teacher. If you simply put a period here, then it's a statement that's already been declared, right? You are a teacher, like period. It's done, right? And then if you want to make a question like, are you a teacher? That's when the ma comes in. You simply get rid of period and then simply put ma afterwards you put a question mark. 你是老师吗? That means you're a teacher, aren't you? Well, like, are you a teacher? Right? Simply put ma afterwards, declare a declarative statement. Then it will make this sentence a question. Okay? So you don't really say like 我是. Maybe you can. Maybe you got like beat up or something. You don't remember anything. You can say like 我是. Right? I am. It's a 老师. Right? So I'm a teacher. If you simply put a, that's a 我. No, but if you put a period here, that means it's already been declared in the statement. I'm a teacher. Right? If you erase that and ask a question, ma. Right? That means am I a teacher? But I don't really think people ask that question. I mean, usually you know you're a teacher or not, right? But this one works like grammarly. That's correct. Am I a teacher? Right? That works, right? Like maybe like, are you a teacher? Am I a teacher? Yes, I'm a teacher, right? So ma. Let's all use ma, right? So pretty simple. Or maybe like, what else? Yeah, that's all. That's pretty much ma means. Basically a statement that's already been declared. Let me see, what else can I use here? Yeah, that's what ma is, okay? So the next one here, negative adverb, 不, okay? This one here, 不, right here, 不, 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 right? How do you use 不 in a sentence? Simply put 不, let me see, after the, in front of the verb, and then I think after the subject, right? So let's say, let's just use the previous grammar together just to see how it goes, right? You can say like 你是老师吗? Right? So it'd be 你是, so are you a teacher? 你是老师吗? Right? Are you a teacher? Right? And then you say I am not a teacher. You simply say oh no, 我不是老师. Period, right? That means I'm not a teacher. Okay? So if you get rid of 不 here, that means 我是老师. That means I am a teacher, right? So to make it a negative statement, simply put 不 here, which is after the subject in front of the verb 是, 我不是老师. That means I'm not a teacher. Okay? And then that's it. That's what 不 is. Or what else you can use? That's pretty. I mean, what other examples I can give here? The next one here, we will use other words here. Oh, maybe you can say like, instead of saying 老师, maybe you say like 你是 Mike. Are you Mike? Right? 你是 Mike 吗? So are you Mike? And then we can say 我不是 Mike. Period. Oh, forgot to say in Chinese, period is a small circle, very small circle. Okay, but I mean, probably talk about it in the future. But 我不是 Mike. So are you Mike? So 你是 Mike. If I just get rid of this, what's that mean? That means it's a declarative statement. That means you are Mike. You are Mike, right? 你是 Mike. Then if we put ma here, right? That's when it makes a question, right? 你是 Mike 吗? And then you say 我不是 Mike, or in a war like 我是 Mike. You should say 我是 Mike. Just get rid of the 不 here, and make it 我是 Mike. Okay? So that makes sense. That should be pretty simple too, right? And then the next one will be adverb 也. And what does that mean? Okay, 也 basically means to, the English too, right? And also, right? Also, right? To and also. And then how you say is that word is also in front of the verb and after the subject. So it's very similar with the 不 here. So whenever it's an adverb, if it's an adverb, in Chinese, right? It will be in front of the verb. The verb, yep, and then after the subject, right? So go subject, adverb, and then verb, okay? And then if you want to make a negative, you put negative here, okay? Put 不 here, okay? So to demonstrate how that means, So 也 means also, right? If I say, hey, you're a teacher, like you say, I'm a teacher, you're also a teacher, will be 我是老师，你也是老师。So be I am, so 我是。Right? Remember, 是 is M is R, okay? 我是老师 I can represent all three of those. So 我是老师 and then comma, okay? I'm teacher. Then 你是老师 let me write it first. So I'm teacher, you're teacher. I am a teacher, you are a teacher. But how do you make it? You are also a teacher or you're a teacher too, okay? You put 也 in here, okay? Okay, because 是 is a verb 是 你 is a subject, and then you simply put 也 in between those two. So it becomes 我是老师，你也是老师. So I'm teacher, you also are teacher, okay? And then it will be wrong if you put this after. If you put it in here, right, that won't work, that's wrong, okay? So remember that. Okay, or you can put also in front of 你. So if you say 也你 you know, 是老师, right? That's wrong too. Okay. Only place you can put is in between the verb and the subject. So after subject, before the verb. Okay. So that's the positive statement. How do you make it a negative statement? Okay. Let's reset. How about let's ask a question first. Say, 你是老师吗? Right. So it would be 你是老师 Are you a teacher? I'm just keep on repeating these so you can really stick on your mind, right? So 你是老师吗? Okay, so that's a question, right? If you just have 老师 by itself, 你是老师 that means you're a teacher. But put that you simply add ma after a statement that's already declared. Then you just make it a question. So basically, you know, are you a teacher, right? And for me will be 我是老师 would be like 我是老师 period. Right? So I'm a teacher. Or let's make this more interesting. You know, so for example, if you ask me, are you a teacher? I say yes, I'm a teacher, right? I'm a teacher. And then I also and you, okay, that involves the grammar we talked about in the previous lesson, which is 呢, that would be 你呢, right? 你呢. So how about you, right? How about you? How about you? You and you. And you say 我也是老师. Yep. So 我也是老师. Right? So are you a teacher? I am a teacher. What about you? I'm a teacher too. I'm also a teacher. 我也是老师. Right? So what about it's a negative. You simply put here 我不是老师. Right? It means I am not a teacher. And then what about you? And then you say I'm not a teacher too. How do you say that? 我也不是. Okay? Put 也 here. And then 不是. Boom. There you go. 我也不是老师. Okay? So that's how you use 也 and how you use 是, how you use 吗, how you use 不 on all these cases. See this dialogue here explains, pretty much how you use, these four very, very well, right? So as about nationality, that's just, the dialogue in the book. If you want to check it out, you can. But I can just also give an example. I say here, 人. What 人 means, 人 basically means a person. Let's just do another practice basically, okay? 人 means people, 人 means people and a person, right? Person. By itself is person. So you can say 中国人, that means Chinese citizen, or you're from China, Chinese person. Or 美国人, or American, right? Chinese or American. Are you Chinese or American, right? So to write it in Chinese, try to write it in Chinese. Okay. How do we say that? It will be 你是中国人吗? Okay. So 你是. It's another practice, okay? So 你是中国 right 人吗? So if I just have 你是中国人 and then you have a period there, that means you are Chinese, right? if you simply put ma afterwards, so then you'll make a question again, right? So 你是中国人吗? So are you Chinese, right? And for me, I'll be like 是 will be like 我是中国人 right? So be 我是中国人 right? So I'm Chinese, and then you can simply do and you, which is that means how about you, right? 你呢 right? And then you can say like because you can simply just say no, I'm not. So you can say 我不是 right? 我不是 remember 不 is but between the subject and the verb 我不是中国人 right? Right? Or you can say 我也是 that means I'm also Chinese, right? Or if you want to make both negative, say 我不是中国人 in the first place, right? I'm not Chinese in the first place. What about you? And then say I'm also not a Chinese, right? Simply get rid of that. You say 我也不是 right? It will be wrong if you change this order for these three. You cannot say 我不也是 that doesn't work. That's not a negative, okay? That makes sense in its own way for different things. 我不也是中国人 That's kind of I'm not gonna confuse you on that, but that wouldn't work if you want to say I'm also not Chinese. So that wouldn't work, okay? Or whatever that combination is, 也是也不 that also doesn't work. So the only way it will work will be this, okay? So in the verb, subject, and then in between, you can put also. You can also put negative, statement. We can put both, but make sure the also comes first and then a negative. I'm also not a Chinese person. I also not am a Chinese. I guess that's how it makes sense in Chinese context. But here, that's the right way to write it. Okay, are you Chinese? Right, I'm not a Chinese. What about you? I'm not Chinese too. So 你是中国人吗？我不是中国人 right? 你呢 and then 我也不是中国人 So that's a double negative. It's not double, no. Basically, both statements will be negative. Okay. So that's it. That should be all about this lesson. Okay. Like I said, study vocab on your own. Try to practice this grammar on your own as well. Spend more time on that. And practice makes perfect. Okay. It's always like that. And if you're interested, you can also pick up this book here. Okay. It's called Integrated Chinese. I get all my materials from this book. If you want to just learn on your own, we're gonna pick up other workbook or character books. You can. That way you can really learn on your own and have more deeper understanding and more practice on your own as well. So it helps you too, right? So that's all. Thank you again. See you in the next video. Bye bye.